Elias had a unique gift, or maybe it was a glitch. He didn't see faces or names first. Instead, floating above everyone's head, he saw a number. Their value number, their net worth to humanity. As a high-level hedge fund manager, this ability was his secret weapon. He built an empire, hiring only those with high numbers, dating only women with gold status values. To Elias, the world was a giant ledger, and he was the master accountant, always balancing the books in his favor. One afternoon, basking in the glow of a freshly closed deal, Elias felt invincible. He'd just netted his firm millions. The cost? Just the water rights for 3 small, insignificant towns. He caught his reflection in the polished glass of his corner office. Something was wrong. His own number, always a reassuring 50 million, was flickering violently. It wasn't just dropping. It was plummeting, blinking red as it dipped into negative territory. Panic seized him. This couldn't be happening. He had to fix it to buy his value back. He stormed out of his office, his mind racing. $1 million donation to the city museum, anonymous, of course. He checked his reflection in a shop window. The number didn't budge. He doubled down, buying a whole new wing for the children's hospital, complete with his name plastered on a gold plaque. He checked again. It had dropped even further. A cold dread washed over him. He finally understood. The value he saw wasn't about bank accounts. It was about something deeper, something he'd ignored his entire life. It was about the soul's impact on the world. Desperate, Elias wandered the city streets, a ghost in his own life. He was a billionaire, yet he felt bankrupt. He scanned the crowds, searching for anyone, anything that could give him a clue. How do you raise your number? He passed a man in a tattered coat, sitting on the cold sidewalk. The man was carefully tearing his only sandwich in half, sharing it with a scruffy stray dog. Elias almost walked past, but then he saw it. Above the man's head, there wasn't a number. It was a symbol, glowing with a soft, warm light, the infinity symbol. Elias stopped dead in his tracks. He slowly approached and sat down on the pavement next to the man. The concrete was cold, a stark contrast to his heated leather car seats. "How?" Elias whispered, his voice raspy. "You have nothing. Why is your value immeasurable?" The man looked up, his eyes crinkling into a gentle smile. He offered Elias the other half of his sandwich. "I don't have anything to lose," he said softly, "so I have everything to give." A cup of water given in kindness is worth more than $1 million given for a tax break. For the next week, Elias became a shadow to the Infinity Man. He left his penthouse, his tailored suits, his entire world behind. He followed him through the city's forgotten corners and learned a new kind of accounting. He saw value being created in moments no one ever recorded on a balance sheet. He watched the man spend an hour just listening to a lonely old woman on a park bench, her face lighting up with a forgotten joy. He helped him plant a small sapling in a cracked patch of dirt, a tree whose shade neither of them would likely ever sit under. He even witnessed him forgive a young man who tried to steal his meager bag, offering him a kind word instead of anger. Each day, Elias felt a shift inside him, a cracking of the cold, hard shell he'd built around his heart. His own number remained stubbornly negative, but the panic was slowly being replaced by a quiet curiosity. He was learning a language he never knew existed, the language of the human heart. Then, the call came. It was his old firm. His former partner was on the line, his voice slick with excitement. They had a new project, a massive opportunity. A plan to tear down a beloved local park, a green oasis in the concrete jungle, to build a luxury high-rise. "It's a guaranteed win, Elias," his partner said. "Sign the papers and your personal take will double. We need your final approval." The threat hung unspoken in the air. If he refused, they'd ruin him. He'd be fired, sued, and blacklisted. Elias stood in front of the gleaming skyscraper that housed his old office, the contract heavy in his hand. He looked at his reflection in the mirrored glass. His value stared back at him, a stark red negative $1. He thought of the small towns with no water, He thought of the Infinity Man sharing his sandwich. He thought of the sapling reaching for the sun. With a deep breath, he took the thick stack of papers and, with a satisfying rip, tore the contract in half. Then, in quarters, he let the pieces flutter from his fingers like confetti. He turned and walked away, not looking back. He walked away from the car, the penthouse, the status, the millions. He walked until the city lights blurred and the sky opened up, washing the grime from the streets and from his soul. Soaked and penniless, he stopped and looked down. In a puddle at his feet, he saw his reflection. The angry red negative number was gone. In its place, a tiny golden one flickered to life. It wasn't 1,000,000. It wasn't 1,000. It was just one. But for the first time in his entire life, it was real, and it was his. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more.